What's the unintentionally funniest thing you've ever heard a child say? Had a friend who transported goods for a pharmaceutical company. He jokingly referred to it as delivering drugs in front of his 4-year-old nephew. One day, the friend was supposed to pick his nephew up from daycare. His caretaker asked him conversationally what his uncle did for a living. Of course, the kid spouts off that his uncle delivered/sold drugs for a living. This did not go over well with the caretaker. She proceeded to call the mother, who burst out laughing before she could explain. My little brother, 10, was telling a story about his friend Jay and himself to an older lady who is quite stiff about kids these days. Brother, me and Jay were playing. Lady, Jay and I. Brother, no, you weren't there. Laughter erupts. I was explaining to my 4-year-old son what muscles are and asked him to look at my biceps. He said, hold on, I need to go get my magnifying glass. I didn't even know what to say, and my wife is still laughing about it. Dad, what's that? That's a cemetery. What's a cemetery? That's where they bury dead bodies. Oh. A few minutes pass. Dad? Yeah? Where do they bury the heads? My kid and me after a large blowout I had with my ex-wife over something stupid. Our 2 daughters heard my ex unloading on about how she hates me and how terrible I am, and I knew when she gets like that I have to walk away. She would say some pretty cutting things. Anyways, I'm angry and I'd go sit on the couch in the living room with the lights off. My 4-year-old walks up to me. Dad, no one likes you, eh? Me, yeah, I gathered. Thanks. Mommy doesn't like you. I don't like you, Helen. 1.5 yo, doesn't like you. Me, yeah, thanks. Hahaha, I played a joke on you. I'm kidding. I don't know what Helen thinks. I worked as a teacher's assistant for a year and I have a weird last name, so I got the kids to call me Mr. A if they couldn't pronounce it, but some kids still tried to say their interpretation of my name. One of the kids said, Mr. A, I'm gonna start calling you Mr. Avocado, because I can't remember your last name, and I don't like avocado. Driving through Iowa with my 5-year-old. There's like 100 corns here, Daddy. I was in a park. 3 children, about 8 years old, were playing together, and 2 of them ran away laughing. The third calls them to come back, but they kept running. He passed near me and whispered, freaking earthlings. I used to work in a preschool, and a little boy heard me say that one of my friends was visiting Baltimore. The kid immediately gasped and went, you aren't supposed to say his name. He thought that Voldemort was named Baltimore and was horrified that someone I knew was visiting he who must not be named. I didn't correct him. Literally 5 seconds ago a little girl asked me, are you Melissa? I'm a 250-pound bearded man. I'm decidedly not Melissa. I'm a mailman, and one day a little girl came to the door to get the mail. She looked up at me with a big smile and said, thank you, Whalemen. I spent the rest of the day thinking about how much more interesting of a job that would be. When I was 4, I told my entire family at my birthday party that my wiener got big whenever I needed to really pee. My grandmother nearly died laughing. As a child, my brother didn't like peanuts. As a treat after dinner one Sunday we had cornetas. My brother peeled the wrapper off and then turned to my dad and said, Dad, can you nibble my nuts off? My aunt wet herself laughing. We were bringing lunch to the teachers at school and my daughter announced that we made a special soup for Mr. S because he's a virgin. Mr. S is a vegan. And from that day on, the 40-year-old Mr. S has been trying to imply that he was not a virgin to the other teachers while still maintaining professionalism and not appear creepy. Went to McDonald's once and headed for the bathroom. Just before I opened the door this small child busts through with his friend and he yells, I ain't washing my hands. I'm a bad boy. This happened 4 years ago and I still laugh about it. I was in a McDonald's bathroom when I was in middle school 20 or so years ago, and the kid in the stall next to me very loudly said, Grandma, why do you have hairs all over your butt? I still giggle every time I think about it. At a British airport the other week, American mother and very young son in the family/disabled cubicle. He very loudly exclaimed, Mom, your butt's so big. Like so so big. And she proceeded to thank him. I died of silent laughter. At the zoo watching a rhino and a young family is next to me. Out of the blue the rhino got an erection. Something brought to my attention by the young boy yelling, whoa, look at his wiener. Is yours that big, Daddy? The father turned bright red while the mother laughed her ass off. My son after wearing pants all winter and switching to shorts. Dad, I need sleeves for my legs. My daughter wanted to wear tights one day. Dad, can I wear my sock pants? Mommy, check out my cool nipple. Belly button. The word she was looking for was belly button. My daughter at maybe 2 or a little under proclaimed to our family that my daddy, me, has a front tail. A little background. When my daughter was little, she would make any excuse to try to sleep in our bed. We also had a lab named Morty who fell in love with her the day we brought her home from the hospital and followed her around until the day he died. One night, she told me, "Mommy, I can't sleep in my bed because Morty left all of his dog feathers in it." My niece was 3 when my nephew was born. She came up to me and my girlfriend when we visiting my sister in hospital and said, "So am I not allowed to punch the baby in the head?" Uncle had a tick in his ear. When we went camping, my nephew pronounced tigger's tick and would not stop shouting, "Uncle Tom's got a big old dick in his ear," over and over again. My husband was pulled up for random breath testing. As the cop told us we were fine to go on our way, my youngest child piped up, "Well, that went better than last time." Turns out he meant last time hubby was rumted. He bitched about it because it was raining and the shoulder he was pulled up on was boggy. Family went to Olive Garden restaurant. Waitress delivers the obligatory bowl of salad with the salad tongs. I proceed to start mixing up the salad with the tongs. My 4-year-old daughter sits up and stares into the bowl and then looks up at me and asks, "What are you looking for?" My 7-year-old son slept on the top bunk of a bed with his brother down below. He's a bit of a tank and was hitting around 28 kgs. One night he asked me to put him to bed and I said, "Mate, you're getting really heavy. I'm not sure that I can lift you all the way up that high anymore." He looked me straight in the eye and said, "Dad, you just need to believe in yourself." Was out to lunch with my fiancee, her parents, and my 4-year-old niece. I gave her a quarter so she could get some Skittles from the candy machine. We are driving home and she is intentionally offering everyone Skittles and telling me I can't have any. All of a sudden she looks at me and asks, "What is that in your hand?" I show her my empty hand and she says, "No, your other hand." I was pretty confused and opened my other hand to show her there was nothing in it either. She looks at me with this crap-eating grin and says, no Skittles." Me, how old do you think grandpa is? 5 years old. Nephew, 0.12. Me, no, he's actually 62. Nephew, ooh, he's going to die soon. I used to ask my little cousin, around 5 to 6 years old at the time, if she knew any swear words. She started listing off all the bad words she knew. Hate, stupid, crap, frick. Wait, what was that last one? It escalated so quickly and nonchalantly that it had me dying. My partner's 5-year-old daughter was watching me do my makeoop in the mirror and she said, "You look like an angel." That's the sweetest thing she's ever said to me, so I gushed like a teenage girl and thanked her with a big grin on my face. Then she elaborated, "You look like you're dead." A few years ago I had my nephew, who was about 13 at the time, and my son, then around 6, in the car with me. We were visiting grandma out of town and I was pointing out stuff from my youth. Me, I used to get my hair done there when I was young and pretty. 13, being a tool, but clearly joking, "You were never pretty." 6, indignant at this insult to his mother, "You don't say that, she was 2. It was just a long time ago. I saw pictures." Thanks, buddy. Thank you for watching. Subscribe and like for more future content.